So I have been on the interwebs, on YouTube and Instagram for many years now. I want to say like 4 or 5. And we're just going to let this car pass because he's clearly in a rush during quarantine. I follow obviously a lot of other luxury content creators and fashion influencers. In doing so, I've noticed very common themes and common items that a lot of other creators and people I admire in the fashion community buy. But I wanted to take the time today to talk about the sort of luxury essentials, or 5 of the key sort of basic items. I know basic has a negative connotation sometimes, but I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like the 5 basic fundamentals to building your luxury wardrobe / so like an influencer or fashion blogger starter kit, shall we say. And also maybe just start a conversation about, you know, in a few years' time, if we come and revisit this video, will those staples in our wardrobe still be the same? I'd be really interested to know. So I've got 5 items, like I said, and we're going to whip through those quickly. And I've got eye candy and all sorts of examples to show you, because I indeed realised that as I was going through those key items that I had all these items. And I'm going to start with the item that I'm wearing actually, which is, if you couldn't tell, a Balmain blazer. This is the item that everybody, and I'm sure their mothers, talk about as being crucial to adding to your luxury collection. And I actually only added this particular blazer into my collection last year. And I managed to get a really good price on it, which is kind of the reason why I sort of bit the bullet, because it's a very expensive blazer. These retail for like 1,500, probably upwards. I've seen these blazers in the last 5 years just rocket in popularity. It's got a lot of staying power. Balmain did a really good job doing the marketing, and just having them in the front of everybody's mind was such a good move, because these have become so coveted that everybody talks about them. And for a while I kind of didn't want to buy this blazer because I was thinking, actually, it's probably all hype. I never actually, until last year, saw one of these blazers in the flesh. Then I bought into their whole H&M Balmain collaboration. I had items from there, and it's always been an item that's on my mind because I do love tailoring, and it's just one of those items that I kind of wanted to see what the fuss was about. So I caved last year when a good discount came up, not just for this blazer, but also for this blazer, which was actually the first one, chronologically speaking, that I bought, although these were purchased like 2 weeks apart from each other, which is a bit naughty. But this one I bought from Louise via Roma. This one I bought from Harrods, I guess where the Sophie Showhead Fat Shaming incident happened. So I guess they've changed staff because I had a lovely lady serve me. After I managed to try them on in store, hold them in my hands, you know, I understood why these were so important and raved about. And I find that when I put these on, I feel very powerful, boss lady. Maybe it's just a placebo effect because I spent so much money on these. Like collectively, these are probably what, like $2,000? They are tailored and fitted to perfection. They mold around my body so well. I feel like they're so versatile for dresses, but also to dress down, you know, with like a t-shirt and jeans. I think they're so versatile, and yes, they're expensive, but I bought mine on discount, and I highly recommend that you do that too. And I will leave some tips at the end on how I would advise that you buy these items. I actually just love how this makes me feel, how it makes me look. I feel so put together. It's something that I will be able to keep for the rest of my life. It's not like, I don't know, necessarily my shoulders will change size or anything like that. And you can also wear it buttoned or unbuttoned and it still looks really good. So even if weight fluctuates, I doubt it would be so drastic that I wouldn't be able to put it on. And it's something that I don't think I would need many of. I think having these 2 at this point in my life is enough. That's me saying it right now, of course. Who knows what other beautiful colours they come up with. Next up is, again, another basic item that everybody, I'm sure, wants to have, does have, and it is none other than a Chanel bag, or rather a black Chanel bag. And this one is the Chanel boy bag, of course. I'm sure everybody that you might follow who is a big influencer or luxury lover out there will have a Chanel bag, and it will likely be either the boy bag or the classic flap. I personally am not really bought into the classic flap trend. I feel like this one is a lot more modern and classic at the same time. It's got the classic shape and silhouette, but a bit more grungy in terms of like the hardware and design. And it has done me so well over the last 5 or 6 years that I've had it. And I feel like when I bought it, it was just at the peak of when the boy bag was really big. Obviously, Chanel bags, or any designer bag that's in the sort of higher tier fashion houses, shall we say, these are upwards of £2,000, almost 3. In fact, this one is probably over 3 at the moment, retailing. If you can't get a Chanel bag, I would say just a classic black bag. Just looks super classic and timeless with any type of outfit, any colour. Okay, now luxury basic number 3, I have a belt to show you, and everybody knows which belt I'm going to show you, but it doesn't have to be Gucci, of course, as you can see from the packaging. It is the Gucci belt, but at least I can say mine is a different type of Gucci belt because it is in silver hardware, because I love silver. A couple of years ago, this belt, I could not scroll on Instagram or go on YouTube without somebody talking about this or wearing this, showing this off. And for a while I was a bit suspicious of the hype behind what is effectively just 2Gs on a black normal belt. But I realised once I owned my own belt that this belt wasn't just popular because of the brand or because everybody else had it, but it was an inexpensive and very tactical way of elevating your outfit for a fraction of the price as buying an actual Gucci outfit, say. And I think accessorizing is so important, and it's actually the running theme throughout every single item that's in this video, because actually those are just the basics that you can wear, you know, high street items underneath. You don't have to have a full outfit of designer, but if you accessorize just right, then you will actually be able to create an image of luxury without spending a humongous price tag on the rest of it, which I think is very clever. So when I got this Gucci belt, I mean, it's actually the only designer belt that I actually have. I definitely want to invest in another one that's a bit more neutral, that I can pair with dresses and things. But for the time being, this Gucci belt has served me really well. And I paid, I think, £160 at the time, 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Not gonna lie, I haven't really been wearing it recently because of quarantine, but I get lots of compliments wearing it. It's obviously a little bit out there. It's kind of a big buckle, isn't it? But I wear this around dresses. It goes around my waist really nicely. I think I bought like a 75 centimetre belt. So be sure to measure your waist. And I can also wear it across my hips as well, just with my jeans. I usually wear high-waisted jeans anyway, but this looks really, really smart when you wear it. I like to tuck in a nice t-shirt or a grungy t-shirt, and if I wore this blazer over it, it's a dream. So I would highly recommend getting a designer belt. It doesn't have to be the Gucci one, like I said, and it doesn't have to be Logomania either, just to clarify. Obviously pick something that's to your liking. It doesn't have to be super gaudy like this, but I do think, to my point earlier, that accessorizing really cleverly will really elevate your outfit, and that's why I'm recommending a designer belt. And then along the same lines as accessorizing with a good belt, I would say accessorizing with a piece of good jewelry is a staple in your luxury wardrobe. And I'm not going to say that it should be limited to like a necklace or bracelet or anything like that. I think you can pick the type that you want. But if you are starting out, I would recommend, as an example, getting a nice brooch. And I have this Chanel brooch here, and it's in the white box, the coveted Rue Cambon box. And I've got here the beautiful Chanel CC. It's the classic style of Chanel brooches, and it is in this beautiful combination of pearl and I think it's cubic zirconias on the other side. It is literally the perfect mix of classic and modern, and I love how it glistens with the zirconia detail here on the side, but also has that classic Chanel pearl detail. I absolutely love pearls, as you may well know, and so this is one of the reasons I actually was so drawn to it. And I feel also with a brooch you can be so versatile with the ways that you use it. So, you know, obviously you can pin it to your jacket here, which looks really, really smart, or you could probably attach a hair clip to it and put it in your hair, which I think would look so cute. And you can also probably, you know, tie your hair back with a ribbon and put it into the ribbon at the back, and that would look really nice with like a sort of half updo. And I'm sure you could use it in many other ways as well that I'm not thinking creatively enough about, right? So it's very versatile. Again, one of those inexpensive items that you can get from Chanel. It's a great starter piece, actually. It was probably £300. And, you know, if you go to the airport and buy it or get your tax refunded from abroad, even better for you. And it's an item that will never go out of style. And getting a classic design like the CC logo for Chanel or any other equivalents from the other fashion houses that you like, I think will serve you really well in your wardrobe. So I would recommend a brooch, but obviously if you bought the same in sort of like a classic necklace, or, you know, I'm even wearing under here actually the Hermes Click Clack. If you bought it in black or white or just a very neutral colour, I think that would also go a long way. And these things also last quite a long time. The Click Clack, as the example, is relatively indestructible so far that I've had it for the last year. And the brooch I have worn quite consistently over the last couple of years and nothing has fallen out. Again, touch wood, because there are stone details in it, but if you do get something very classic and with not that many stones or other additional embellishments, then I think you would have a long-lasting piece of jewellery in your collection. And then just to finish up with number 5 is a pair of shoes. And I could not do this video without mentioning the most obvious pair of shoes that every good influencer or blogger has. And of course, all good things come in little red dust bags. And these, in case you've been living under a rock this whole time, are Louboutins. Obviously, everybody has a good pair of Loubs, as uncomfortable as they are, I know, but I'm going to mention them anyway because they're beautiful and they're a luxury staple, I cannot deny. And these are the classic Pigalle pumps in 85, that's the heel height. And honestly, as uncomfortable as Louboutins usually are, I do have, for example, a pair which is like more of the plexi style pump, which is in 10 centimeters, yeah, in terms of the heel height. Those are very uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. After a while, like 2 hours, I'm done. My feet are ruined, destroyed, go home, woman. But these ones in the 85 are actually manageable. You could go a fair few hours, like 4 hours or something. Obviously not dancing or intensively, but you would not feel much pain. I've also put, at least in the other ones, those shoal party feet inserts, so those help a bunch. But these aren't that steep actually. They're a really good heel height and actually probably one of the more comfortable heels of the Louboutin range. So I would definitely recommend, if you are gunning for a pair of red bottoms, that you get the Pigalle 85, or even if there's lower heels. I know you won't be able to see the red bottoms so much, but I just think comfort over everything if you're going to spend basically, what, £500 on a pair of heels. But these ones, I feel, even if you don't get Louboutins, if you just get a classic black pair of pumps or a nude pair of pumps, then these go with absolutely everything. I would be very surprised if luxury lovers out there did not have or do not want to have these in their collection, despite the fact that they are touted as being probably the most uncomfortable heels in the world. But Christian Louboutin knows how to make sexy heels, and these are damn sexy. When you walk away in a red bottom, whew. And these are the final items to mention in this video. But before I end the video, I kind of wanted to mention a couple of tips that I have for buying these staple items, because I know, of course, a lot of these, namely the blazer and the bag, are high-ticket items that you can't just go and nip out to get them. The first tip that I have is to buy a classic colour. So a lot of these items that I've shown you, you'll notice are in black. Basically, all of them are black. Even the Balmain blazer, okay, this one's white, but the other one is technically black. And that's for a very simple reason. It's because black never goes out of style. Black is also a slimming colour, and black is a colour that goes with every other colour, basically, you know? And, you know, if you're starting off your collection, I would highly recommend you go with black or a neutral colour, say nude or white, if you really feel brave enough to do white. I mean, this blazer is like an off-white, but I still get a little bit terrified sometimes. But a classic colour and a block colour will usually do you no wrong if you're starting out. And then, of course, then you can start venturing into wilder colours, bolder colours, and prints if you want. And that's why I have a lot of black in my shoe collection, a lot of black in my bag collection, and then now I'm starting to add different colours since I've got the basics already established in there. And also it has the added bonus, not just of going with all your outfits, but in terms of resale as well. If you ever want to resell your item, a lot more people will be after those classic colours that don't really date. So it's a tactical thing as well as a, you know, wardrobe pairing thing. Tip number 2 is buy from established fashion houses. And what I mean by that, you know, it doesn't have to be the Chanels, the Hermes, the Diors. You know, you could buy lower tier, so to speak, brands that have a bit more staying power. So you could go for brands like, I guess Gucci and Prada would fit into a more mid type of tier. Look at reseller websites, look at online marketplaces, look at their websites, and look at other videos from like 5 years ago and compare them to videos now of who has those items. Do they still show up on celebrities, runways, influencers? And are they priced accordingly with the resale market? Because you can often, when you do your research and a bit of due diligence on this, you'll be able to find that some brands, despite, you know, them maybe not being as high regard as the likes of Chanel, will have staying power. So an example could be a Givenchy Antigona. I feel like that is a bit more of an inexpensive or mid-tier designer brand, but it has a lot of staying power, and I don't think that the bag loses that much value if you wanted to resell it or even to buy it secondhand. I feel like it's relatively consistent with how you would buy it on retail, which is amazing. And that was, you know, a trendy bag that was, you know, here for about last 5 years actually, maybe more. And I would always recommend then that you go for those established brands that have bags that are classic or staples in their ranges. So try and avoid to start off with those seasonal type of bags or trendy bags until you've seen that they have longevity in the longer term. And then my final tip is to buy at a discount if possible. And I've mentioned this time and time again. Buy tax-free, buy with a discount code, buy with cashback, and buy with loyalty schemes or reward points. You know, those are the biggest ways that you can save money, even on items that don't usually go on sale, like the Balmain blazers, like the Chanel bags. You know, there's always a way that you can buy something and get something back. Maybe I'll do a video separately on how I buy luxury and still save money, even if I buy them full price. I'm a very savvy shopper and I take great pride in it. I will never buy something full price if I have the option of putting in a bit more work to finding a coupon code or waiting it out until I go abroad and buying it tax-free. I would always recommend you to do that, especially if you're just starting out with your collection. And there's no harm in waiting a little bit to get the item that you want for a lower price than you want. Having said that though, don't wait too long to buy certain things if you know that the prices will inevitably increase rapidly. So that's me talking about the Chanel bags. Whether they be seasonal or not, they always go up in price once or twice a year. So if that's something that you know and you're able to just bite the bullet a little bit and hopefully save a bit of money at the same time, I would highly recommend that you do that, because the Chanel boy bag that I bought 4 or 5 years ago, it's now over £1,000 more retailing nowadays, even if you were to buy it in the airport as well. So I would always recommend, if you do have the disposable income, if you won't go broke, or, you know, if you're still able to afford all your basic necessities, then to spend that money now if you can, because 5 years, 10 years in the future, Chanel bags might be worth £10,000. The prices of Birkins and things, and God, Lord knows how much a Birkin will be at that point. But money is worth more now than later, so if you do have the ability to, I would recommend that you get the items now. And, you know, buy what you love is what I want to just sort of end this video with. Buy what you love. It doesn't mean, you know, the items that I've just talked about in this video are ones that are be all end all. It's just ones that clearly stood the test of time in a way, and it's clearly common denominators among many influencers or bloggers' wardrobes. If you think I've also missed staples, let me know below. Would love to know what you'd have in your basic wardrobe. And I think this is everything for the video, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next one.